Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Average Discussion. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Friday, August 30th, 2024. It's about 70 degrees here in the Salt Lake City area. Nice clear skies, a little bit of pollution in the air because that's the American way, you know what I mean? I think it's probably more the Indian way and Chinese way, but hey, whatever, we participate in it as well. Hey, it's good to be back. I've been away for a while. No good reason, but there's nothing like a good friend reminding you that you're not doing nothing with your life and you need to step it up. So shout out to Rock Dingo Woodcraft. Okay. If you need somebody to rock your wood first thing in the morning, might I suggest Rock Dingo Woodcraft. Hey, no, listen, all things aside, I know the guy personally, so I know he takes great pride in everything that he does. He's got a full setup going. I'll put the link to his business page here. But no, seriously, shout out to him because you know what? He reached out to me. Well, he didn't really reach out to me. We were just kind of chatting back and forth on Facebook, I believe it was, or Instagram. I can't remember. And he kind of reminded me like, hey man, get off your butt and do something. You know what I mean? So, shout out to him. You know who you are. Rock Dingo Woodcraft. Okay. He's also got an Instagram page. I'm pretty sure it's rock_dingo_woodcraft. Check out his stuff, man. Like I said, all around good dude. I know he's going to make sure that you're taken care of, and if you're not satisfied with the product, I know he's going to do everything that he can to make it right. So, all jokes aside, seriously, look into it. If you're looking for some custom woodwork done, reach out to him, check him out. So that's where we're at on that. That's my absentee thing. No good reason other than, like I said, just, I don't know, I fell off. But you know what, here's another thing too. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this right here for the audio only, because I got the video, so if you're on YouTube watching it, thank you for watching me on YouTube, but I also have the audio going so you can catch us on Spreaker, Spotify, all those normal places. Okay, so it's been kind of a wild ride the last little bit. My son, he recently joined the Navy. He shipped out to boot camp, a week ago? So he hasn't been there too long. He's just getting started on his journey. But a lot of mixed emotions there. If you've listened to the show long enough, I'm an Army veteran. Okay, I don't boast about it all that often. But I was a little surprised when my son said he was going to join the Navy. Anybody who's been in knows the crap talking that goes on. Okay. But I was a little taken back by it, mainly because we just hadn't really talked about it. I didn't know that was something that he was kind of looking for, right? Looking towards. So it was really interesting to see that from him. But listen, here's the thing, man. Honestly, I am super proud of him. I'm proud of him. Not because of what he's doing, but because of how he did it, right? I mean, he took this decision. He made the decision for himself, and he figured it out, and now he's on this journey that he pathed out for himself, and I couldn't be more proud of him for those reasons. I'm not necessarily proud of what he's doing because, listen, I never discouraged the Army, but I also never really encouraged it either, right? So, or the military in general, because I did it to provide for my family, right? And my goal was to provide this life for my family that was better, or at least what I envisioned in my mind to be better, and get them to be able to take advantage of opportunities that maybe I wouldn't have taken advantage of, right? Like, there's something to be said for working for what you get and all that good stuff, right? Like, but I did this thing a little different because there's two perspectives to everything, right? Yes, if you start working right away, you start to value things differently, right? You value money differently, you value possessions differently because you had to go out and buy them. All that's absolutely true. But then, what you sacrifice? You sacrifice your dreams and your goals most of the time because you start working, right? A lot of people will go downhill in their education because they start working, and it's like, well, I gotta go make money, right? So I had this agreement with all my kids. He was the oldest, so he kind of did it first, right? I have this agreement with him that, listen, while you're doing your sports and stuff like that, I don't want you to work because I want you to be able to fully dedicate yourself to your passion and what you're doing, right? I had a 2003 Mustang that I just gave him, okay? And yeah, he probably didn't appreciate it the same as if he would have bought it himself. That goes without saying. But you know what? He was able to focus on what his goals were and his dreams. And sure, those changed, but you know what? That's irrelevant. And that's why I joined the military, right? Was to be able to provide this life for my family so I could do things like that. Because at the end of the day, you have to sacrifice something, right? So yeah, maybe you gain a better appreciation for some certain things because you started working when you were 15 years old. Yeah, but you gave up on a lot of your dreams most of the time, or it's something that you don't get back to until you're later in life. You know, and you've got ailments and your bones are aching and stuff like that, and you're just trying to force the passion for it, or force the excitement and fake the happiness, right? Like, that's a reality of life, and I don't want my kids to have to experience that. You know, are they going to? Probably, but if I can help a little bit, then that's kind of where my head's at with it, right? So I was a little, I don't want to say upset, because I wasn't upset, but I was a little, like, in a way disappointed that he just jumped straight to that, instead of trying some other things. He's got a buddy who's down playing football still, giving it a shot. You know, hey, maybe it doesn't pan out, but he's giving it a shot, right? So I thought he might try to take that route, you know, but he didn't. And honestly, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, my emotions on it are selfish for my own reasons, right? They're selfish for mine because I didn't want my son to go, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe my parents wanted me to go, but I don't want my kids to go. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm at with it. You know, it's a little different, I guess. But at the end of the day, he made an excellent choice. You know, he's got something that he can build off of. And listen, maybe he does 20, maybe he does the 5 that he's got to do. I don't know. It's his life, it's his journey. But what I do know is that it will help him out. It will pay off down the road. And he's going to learn things that are going to make him better all around. And so I'm super proud of him for taking that step and doing that. And now I get to travel. So, I mean, I guess it's a win. You know, the only thing, for him, I hope he gets stationed, a duty station, like, you know, somewhere in like Japan or something cool, right? Where he can get to see some stuff. Because I saw Missouri, Texas, and Afghanistan, all right? So, you know, the journeying wasn't very cool for me. Right, but hopefully he gets something like that. Selfishly, I hope he gets something stateside so I can go see him more. Because I'll still go see him if he's out of country, but I know it's going to be harder to achieve, and it's going to be a greater duration of time in between. Right, so I am hopeful that he's able to just enjoy it. I mean, when I went in with 2 kids and a family. It was a lot different than what he's going to experience going in as an 18-year-old single male. So. It may be good, it may be wild. I don't know. It's the Navy. Okay, I don't know anything about the Navy. All right. So that's just kind of where my life's at, man. I'm also doing this other venture. If you're interested in sports, I started it's pretty much high school sports, because that's one thing that I've noticed with my kids is that I really do enjoy going to watch high school sports, man, and seeing these young kids develop and grow. You know, you see them as a freshman and they're these scrawny little toothpick kids, and then you see them as a senior and they finally got some weight on them, and their skill set is better, their maturity is better, and getting to witness that as it kind of progresses is really cool, man. And I've gotten invested in kids in the community and watching their growth, and I really do enjoy it. So, you know, that's gonna come to an end for me very soon. My second son, he's a junior right now, so he's got 2 more years there, and then we got my daughter coming in later, but got a little bit of a break, and it'll obviously be different, right? So, you know, I enjoy that kind of stuff. So I started this other venture called Unaffiliated Sports Broadcasting. Okay, and really I'm just doing some recap stuff, stat lines, and things like that of the local schools around me, because that's all I really have time for. But I've got a nephew who plays at one of the schools. My cousin has a kid who plays at the other school, and then obviously my son plays at the one where I live. So I'm trying to encompass all 3 of those. So if you're into sports, I encourage you to go over and check that out. Again, it's Unaffiliated Sports Broadcasting. I only have an Instagram for that, and a YouTube channel. I'm not trying to do anything too crazy. It's really just more of a hobby, pass the time, kind of get better at some of this. Actually, I've learned some new tricks for video editing that have made it easier to do on my phone versus having to rely on my ancient crappy laptop. You You know, so just small things like that. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. If not, no big deal. And hey, if you're interested in doing something similar in your own community and you'd like to partner up with it, I'm open to that kind of stuff too. I'm willing to see where any of this stuff takes me. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to get at, right? But this is Average Discussion, and it can't be just me talking and whining about all the things that I do in my life. So let's kind of get into some average discussion. Well, politics is just shit. All right, politics is crap. We all know that. Obviously, I've been away from it for quite some time, and I got to admit to you guys, I'm happier. I mean, I don't know what's going on, and I'm still getting screwed over by everything, but, you know, I'm happier. I wouldn't say that I'm, like, doing cartwheels down the sidewalk happy, but I'm happier, man. Like, I'm not worried. I'm done letting the crap just weigh on me, man, and affect my overall mood, and just getting so fired up and frustrated over, you know, somebody's idea or somebody's thought process. I'm done with that kind of stuff, man. Oh, by the way, I haven't done this in a while, so I kind of forgot. Thank you for joining me in Studio Charger here today. It's a lot better than I think the last time I did it. The windows are tinted. I don't know. Maybe the windows were tinted before. I don't know. There's something shiny over there. Okay, moving on. So, obviously, we've got Vice President Harris now going to fill the shoes for current President Obama, and she's going, or Obama, wow, whoa, I need to, Biden. I'm pretty sure Obama's probably running the show, but wow, that was I think that was the universe sending a signal through me. I should align my chakras now and get some crystals, rub them together for all this negativity. All right, so President Biden is no longer going to try to be the president. I'm sure you guys all know that. So Vice President Harris is stepping in. I'm sure you all know that, right? But that's pretty much what dominates the news sector is American politics. I mean, I even went to BBC News. And BBC News, don't take that out of context, okay? And even their news was pretty much U.S. presidential highlights, all right? But here's the thing. I don't really give two craps about either one of them. I mean, if you've listened to my show long enough, you know that I'm not a firm supporter of either one. I don't want either one. I think the presidential position as a whole has become a circus. And it has lost all credibility, in my opinion. And it's going to take a lot to build that back, I think, in the world platform, because it's a joke, man. It really is a joke. I mean, they treat it like a damn reality TV show, and it's just constant chaos, and all you hear is bickering and screaming, and nothing ever gets done, but they're all drunk, right? So, like, that's how I feel about it. And so I don't really care which one becomes president, because honestly, like, the people in my own community have affected my life way more than the president has. So I really don't care, but I know a lot of people do care, so let's talk about it, right? The best argument that I've kind of heard against Vice President Harris is people who are saying, like, you know, you've been in the White House for the last 4 years. Why haven't you done any of these things that you're trying to do, right? And I think that's a very solid argument. Now, I don't know enough about the vice presidency. Maybe they don't have as much pull as we like to maybe think that they do. But hey, that's a fair question, you know. And I do find it funny, isn't it? It's funny to me that the border is back on her agenda, right? Border's back on her agenda. Meanwhile, Ford announced that they're walking back their diversity, equality, and inclusion (DEI) policies. They're walking back on those. They're saying we're done with this woke crap. It's kind of like people are realizing that it just gets more absurd, right? Like the minute you start to tolerate one aspect of it, and you're like, okay, yeah, no, we get it. We're kind of being ignorant of this, and we need to include this kind of stuff, right? As soon as you start to do that, it's like, it's just more. You know, and then at the end of the day, I had to do this training for my job. And the one thing that I took away from it was an entire training geared at teaching me about the mental state and the thought process of transitioning people, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you're a dude, you want to be a chick, go be a chick. I don't care. It's your personal life, okay? Vice versa. You're a chick, you want to be a dude. Cool. Whatever. I don't really care. Honestly, like, I don't really care. I don't think that you should dress provocatively at work, whether you're transitioning or straight or both. It doesn't matter. Like there should be a discipline in that regard, regardless. Okay, so I don't really care about that. And no, you should not be discriminated against because you're a dude that wanted to be a chick or vice versa, right? We should not allow discrimination in the workplace, period. Now here's where I draw the line though. It is not my job or my responsibility to educate myself on your beliefs so that you feel comfortable in your own skin. That is not my responsibility. And that's what this entire training was geared around, right? Because if that's the case, then I need everybody to be trained on what not to do so that I don't think a trigger moment's happening, right? Because I've got PTSD symptoms. I hear things fall in the warehouse all the time and you get the muffled sound, and anybody who's kind of been around IEDs inside of trucks and stuff, right? Like it's muffled. And I work in a pretty big warehouse and we have some pretty heavy stuff that'll fall sometimes. And if it's muffled, it kind of brings me back for a second to that moment, right? And I'm good with it for the most part. Like there's a few times where it takes me a minute, but most of the time, like it's just kind of like oh, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? And you move on with it. But now it's your responsibility to educate yourself on my problems, on my issues, on my mental state, so that you can accommodate me and stop dropping shit all over the warehouse. That's fair, right? Oh, the jackhammers from the construction crews that just started running, echoes through the warehouse, muffled, sounds different than it does when you're outside, right? I'm just saying. So now, that shouldn't be your responsibility. You have a job to do. That's not your responsibility to be concerned about how that affects me. And that's how I feel about this entire inclusion stuff training that I had to do for my job. I don't know what Ford makes them do or how they really did it, okay? But that's how I feel about it, right? I'm not going to discriminate against you. I'm not going to agree with you. I think it's weird, but it's your life. It's your life, and I'm not going to discriminate against you unless you're not doing your job. And then I'm going to discriminate you for being lazy. That's what it is. I won't address your transitioning stuff. I won't address your gender or any of that stuff, right? But I'm definitely going to call you a lazy piece of crap, right? So that's where I'm at with it. So you got Vice President Harris now all of a sudden being concerned about the border. Ford's walking back all their stuff after all this push for the last 4 years, especially. They've been doing it for longer, but the last 4 years especially to do it. That's kind of weird. Apparently Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, owner, founder, whatever of Meta, he expressed regret about compromising values due to immense pressure by the Biden administration, especially during the COVID-19 stuff in terms of censorship and things like that. They were heavily pressured, which I think everybody already knew, right, before he had to publicly say that. But now he's putting out this stuff saying how he regrets doing it and that it was a mistake, that they should have never have done that, and they should not have compromised their values. And kudos to him for saying that. Unfortunately, I feel like it's one of those too little too late type situations for him. But, you know, kudos to him for actually having the backbone to go out there and do that, even if it is bionic. Let's see, what else we got? From what I could tell, she doesn't have any plans for social issues. I looked up some of her plans, right? Like besides abortion, she's big on that. They're pushing that one again, the abortion rights, because it's the repeat of every other election. You know, you got to talk about the economy, abortion, and religion, right? But she's big on that, but she doesn't seem to have any policy agendas geared towards, you know, the LGBTQ stuff and things like that we've been hearing about for the last however many years now, right? So I find that to be interesting too, because the Biden administration was a big advocate for that kind of stuff. And to the best of my knowledge, I didn't see anything in my very brief look up of her, because again, I don't care about who's going to be the president, but it didn't appear that she had any agenda policies geared towards that kind of stuff, and I found that to be very interesting. But she does want to propose a $3,600 tax credit per child, which that's good, because that's what we should be encouraging people who can't afford children already to have more children, so they get a better tax return once a year. So that's cool. I mean, I can't lie. When I was younger, the tax break for kids, it was really great for me and my wife. You know, we were pretty broke, but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. She wants to ban taxes on tips. I feel like I've heard that before from somebody else. You know, I don't know. Maybe just like some toupee wearing guy. I don't know. I think it's a toupee. Is it a toupee? Somebody tell me who actually cares about the presidency in the presidential race, and they know these people like the back of their hand, and they, you know, buy flags and apparently go to cookouts and stuff. Is it a toupee or is it real? I don't know. I don't really care. In other news, Jerusalem archaeologists find an artifact that apparently solidifies biblical accounts and gives them authenticity as inhabitants of the area. That's weird timing. Weird timing, in my opinion. Because, I mean, isn't that kind of part of the continued argument over there? This is, oh, we were here first? No, we were here first. No, we were here first. My God's greater than your God. I got a bigger stick than you. I've got a missile defense system. Right? So, like, I don't know. It's all kind of part of it, right? Very interesting timing. Very interesting timing. Because, first of all, like, I don't know where everybody gets off thinking that, like, we can just control everybody else's decisions to start throwing rocks at each other, man. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's super weird. I'm wearing a Tooele County Train Museum hat. I've reached that stage in life where I go places and just buy random hats. It's a museum. It's not very museum-y, but whatever. They had a hat. I don't know. Again, something shiny over there. Hey, so Steph Curry, some basketball news. Steph Curry signed a 1-year extension. So all of you that were getting excited for the James Curry team up, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. I know a lot of people started talking about it after the Olympics. They wanted to see that. I think LeBron, you know what? I'm going to make a bold statement here. Bold statement alert. I think LeBron James, if he wants to play with Steph Curry, he needs to go to Golden State. He needs to bow down to Steph Curry and go to Golden State if he wants to play with him. That's what I think. Stop with the everybody needs to go play with LeBron. No, LeBron needs to go play with these people. Let's change the narrative. Because Steph Curry ain't no joke either. He's great in his own regard. He's great in his own regard, and he deserves some recognition too. So I think, James, you should go have to play with Curry. That's what I think. Bold statement alert. Oh, and then here's my favorite headline that I came across on the day. So in Dili, it's the capital of Timor-Leste. I don't know. It's in Eastern Asia. It's like an island, I think. Anyways, there was a bunch of homes bulldozed there in preparation for Pope Francis's arriving for Mass next month. Yeah, so 90 people were evicted. Bunch of homes were demolished. After he leaves, the country plans to demolish evict another 1,300 families. Apparently, these people came to the city, to the outskirts of the city. They're living in like the wetlands or something like that is what they said. And they're trying to work in the city, so they came there for work, right? And the government officials are kicking them out. They're saying, go back to your villages. We don't want you here. You're squatting. You have no right to live on this land. And when I was writing down these notes, right, the part of the article said, government says they are squatting and have no right to live on land. And I thought to myself, everybody do me a favor and say that out loud to yourself 3 times. No right to live on land. And then ponder that question and ask if that makes any sense if you really think about it. What an absurd hierarchy, ego-driven thought process that is, right? And then on top of that, you're doing all this for the Pope. The leader, highest element of the Catholic Church, Catholicism. Anyways, this country has spent about $18 million so far in preparation for this 3-day visit. And I've got conflicting information about the overall annual budget of this country. I came across one that said it was $2 billion and another one that said it 19. So I didn't put any of that in there. But bottom line is they don't make a lot of money in comparison to, say definitely like America and things like that. So to spend $18 million on a 3-day visit and demolish a bunch of homes because you're concerned about what it looks like in preparation for the Pope, the leader of the wealth hoarding organization, it's kind of crazy to me. It's kind of crazy. They spent $1 million on a new altar. Now, I'm not well versed in the Bible. I have read through it for some research stuff and things like that, but I'm not well versed in it. But I'm pretty sure in the Old Testament it tells you what you need to do to make an altar, and it wasn't no $1 million. But this is a country that's 97.5% of the population is Catholic. And I saw an interesting thing that suggested that in 1975, there was about 20% Catholic in the area. So since 1975 to now, it's gone up to almost 100% of the population is Catholic. So I wonder if, because I've never heard of this country, never been there, obviously. Maybe they just went through and wiped out everybody that wasn't Catholic. I don't know. Maybe there was a crusade going on and we had no idea about it because we were looking at presidential races and stuff like that and what's going on in Israel or something. Meanwhile, the Pope's over here crusading some Eastern Asian country. I don't know. That's complete speculation. I'm just saying that's pretty good progress from 1975 to current. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, man. That's a little bit of news. That's all fresh. All right, that's all fresh off the grill. Lot going on in the world right now. It's crazy. The business market seems to be kind of stagnant from what I can see in my world. Home prices have kind of flatlined. Hopefully started coming down for some people. Oh, that was another thing too. Apparently, Vice President Harris wants to give out $25,000 aid for down payment stuff. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I got help with my down payment. Oh wait, no, I joined the military and used the VA loan, so I worked for it. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Sorry. I do agree that it's a lopsided situation, right? Like people pay so much in rent that they can't afford a lot of times to save up for what's classified as a down payment these days, right? But what I will say is that they get a lot of flack too. Like people are like, well, stop buying Starbucks. Okay, yeah, shut up, dude. Like, it's still ridiculous. Like, $3,000. My cousin pays about $3,000 a month to rent a house, and it's a pretty decent house, but it's not great. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely enough for what she needs, but probably feels a little cramped at times. But like $3,000 a month, roughly. Like, that's insane, man. And that was the best thing she could find at the time. She was in a desperate situation, needed to get out of her current living situation. Like, so, she had to take what she could get, man. And she can't save no money. She can't save no money to expand and better her life. So, like, on one side of the coin, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, let's help some people, man. But at the same time, like, damn it, I had to go out and work for the help that I got. I had to go earn that. And there's people all over the country that earn it. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm conflicted with it. To be honest with you, I'm 100% conflicted with it. Like, I want to be against it, but at the same time, I look at people like my cousin, right? And I'm just like, man, she could really benefit from that. And it would probably be life-changing for her, And it's not that she doesn't work. She works harder than I do. I'm not gonna lie to nobody. I'm literally recording a podcast at work. Like, she's working harder than I do. You know what I mean? And now, granted, like, sure, I have other things that I have to focus on that she doesn't, right? But from a physical standpoint, she works harder than I do by far. And so, like, that kind of stuff could be life-changing for people like her. And I imagine there's a lot of people like that, And so, like, on one side of it, I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense. We should do that. On the other side of it, I'm like, I don't want tax money to fund it. If we're not, as a country, as a nation, we're not getting anything in return, right? And if the only thing we're getting in return is economic gain in the housing market, then I'm definitely not for it. Because, in my opinion, the housing market, turning life into a financial gain has got to be the most evil shit humanity has ever come up with. I mean, we're literally charging people to exist. We control resources, and nobody seems to see a problem with this. By the way, we've just all grown so accustomed to it that it's just natural that there should just be somebody who's in control of the water. There should just be somebody who's in control of the food. There should just be somebody who's in control of the housing, right? We've just grown so accustomed to this that we just don't, we can't fathom anything else, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that it's not better in some regards, right? Like living conditions and things like that have improved dramatically from, assuming movies and stuff are accurate, of medieval time frames. Living conditions have improved dramatically. Health has improved dramatically. So I'm not going to say that it's a complete negative thing, right? But at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to, is we're literally charging people to exist. And I don't know, it's kind of like, you don't have the right to live on this land. Say it out loud 3 times and then really think about it, and like, damn, it's kind of messed up. So yeah, I don't know. It's like the most evil thing humanity has ever done to humanity. It's absolutely crazy to me. And so if that's the only gain is economic growth in the housing sector, then I don't care about it. I don't want it. But if it's coming from a place of genuine, like, give a damn, then I'm kind of cool with it, right? But it's politicians, so you can pretty much expect that doesn't exist. All they do is they get out there and they say the things that a certain demographic of people want to hear, so they can get elected. And then they don't do anything, and then or they go back on it, or they do minimal, right? And then they hype up those minimal things they do, and people are like, well, see, at least they did something. Stop looking for a savior, people. That's all I'm saying. Stop looking for a savior. Stop putting your entire existence in the identity of an individual. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. It's like people who are obsessed with celebrities. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. I can't. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's musicians I like. There's actors that I like. There's athletes that I like. There's all this stuff, right? But I can't fathom literally fighting people over talking points on them. Like, that's absolutely strange to me. Like, it's got to be clinical, man. I've done a lot of therapy, so I feel like I'm in a good position to talk about this. That's got to be clinical, right? Like, that has to be a disease of some kind. It has to be. It just has to be. I don't know. If it's not a disease, it's definitely like a new tism of some kind, or a new ism, right? It's got to be like politicism. Oh. I'm just kidding. But that's the show today, guys. Like I said, I haven't done one in a while. Shout out to Dingo Woodcraft for reminding me that I was being a lazy piece of crap and I needed to do something with my life. The link for his webpage will be in the description of the video on YouTube for sure, as well as I'll do some advertising for him on the socials as well. So yeah, check it out. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for sticking with me in my inconsistencies. I don't know, man. Like, I want the world to be a better place, but then I wake up and it's the same shitty place, So like, I get unmotivated sometimes. There's great things about life, don't get me wrong, but I definitely feel like they're few and far in between these days, and everything's just kind of bland. Actually, everything is bland. Go to Walmart, right? Go to Walmart. Look at all their decorations. Have you seen that crap? It's like this wannabe velvet stuff. No, like, they're usually a solid color, but there's like no design to them. I don't know. Maybe we crossed over into another parallel universe and we're actually all dead. And this is just like everything just kind of gets stagnant as you start to realize you're dead. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Facebook.com/Average Discussion. Instagram, Average Discussion. See a theme here, right? I'm also on Threads. I don't know anything about Threads, but I post there. Nobody really talks there. They just say, hey, is anybody talking here? And then there's 7,000 comments, but when you actually post something, there's none. So I don't understand that. I'm on X, not the drug, but the social media site. Okay, Average Discussion. I think that was AVG Discussion. Could be wrong, but Average Discussion. Let's see, what else I got? What else I got? YouTube channel. Those of you watching on YouTube already know that, but those of you listening on speakers, product, Spreaker, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. You can also find me over there. All right. So if you haven't liked the channel, the YouTube channel, please go over there and do so. I've got about 23 or less people who are subscribed to the page. I need about 30 more. So give me 30 more. Come on, guys. Come on, help me out here. Help me out. You guys have helped out great. So if you feel like you've helped out enough, I totally understand. I got to find you. Maybe I'll go talk to this guy over here that's walking through our trailer yard looking lost and be like, hey, I'll show you where your trailer's at if you like my YouTube channel. Quid pro quo. Doesn't work well in the workplace, but it works well everywhere else. All right, so that's the show. Thank you. Anything you wish to relay to me, bitches, gripes, complaints, death threats, all those things, you can email me directly at averagediscussion@gmail.com, because I would hate for it to get lost in transition when I'm not checking socials because I'm going through one of my phases. That's probably the quickest way to reach me. Come straight to me and we can chat about it. Or if you have some advice, or if you'd like to be, I've made all these great ideas, like I want to get with this person and that person. I want to do all these things. I want to do it all. Yes, I want to do it all. And I don't. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to do these things, but I still want to do these things. I've got a few people in mind that I need to reach out to and set something up with, and I just need to do it, is really what it boils down to. But I'm really good at coming up with like 100 reasons why I can't do something, and I just got to be better about that, man. Plain and simple. I am working on not smoking anymore, though. That was a thing probably several videos ago, but it's a real thing now. I have not had an actual cigarette in over a week. I am smoking cigars, though. Like little cigars, and I'm doing about 3 of those, 3 of those throughout the day to try to just kind of curb it. It's working out pretty well. So my goal is to be done with it entirely by the time I go to my son's basic training graduation. So got some success there. That's some positive news. I'm proud of myself. I really am, because my job can be high intensity sometimes, and I'm working a lot and I'm doing a lot of things. And then there's times where it's just complete boredom. And that's what I'm worried about getting me, right? So, I'm proud of myself. Let's see, anything else? Let's see, I told you guys about the new endeavor, the unaffiliated sports broadcasting. I'm not putting a whole lot of energy into that, but I do feel like of the 2 things that I'm going to be doing, that one's probably going to take off the most, and I'm going to have to transition some energy and blah, blah, blah. I don't have enough energy, I got a single tank, and it's a small tank. So, it is what it is. All right, it is what it is. But that's the show. Hope you liked it. Like I said, follow us on, wherever you listen to your podcast, but Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all those places you should see it. I am going to get better with these videos. I know that. I've just been doing the audio over because I didn't know what to do and stuff like that. And I'm done with that. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. So we're going to do a legit video this time. I actually have the footage. I got some pictures and stuff like that I'll mesh in with everything. If you've made it this far, you've already seen all that because I already did it. All right. But if you're listening over on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of those places, right? Amazon Music. Check out the YouTube channel. You can see my ugly mug. You can see my cool Tooele County, or what does it say? Tooele Valley Historical Museum. I don't know. It's $15, and the process to pay for that $15 hat, I almost like, this is ridiculous. But because it's a museum, so they still take money like one, and everybody who works there should be in one. So crazy times. Crazy times. I hope you enjoyed the show. Reach out to me. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this Kamala Harris thing, right? Like, because I know there was some controversy about that, because they just basically selected her and there was no selection process, that, the people didn't vote for it type thing. What do you guys think about that? And do you think it's a problem, or do you think it was just like, yeah, it's okay, whatever? I think it's a problem, because, it's fine if President Biden doesn't want to run. I don't think he should run. And this isn't a knock at the guy. The dude's he's old, man. Like, he's old. there's got to be stuff that he's struggling with, right? So like I don't blame him one bit for not wanting to do it, and that's not a knock at him by any means. He is just he's an older man, and you know, it's probably not the best thing for him to be doing anymore, right? I don't know if it's the best thing for him to do in the first place, but it's definitely not probably anymore, right? And so I don't know, I feel like a certain kind of way about that. I feel like they tried to pull a fast one, you know, and people should be pissed off about that, because that's, I mean, we walk around with our back-to-back World War Champ t-shirts and talk about freedom and screeching eagles and right, and all that good stuff, right? But that's part of it. And if you bypass that, can we really do any of that? Can we really wear our shorter than short shorts that are just covered in American flags, and then have barbecues where we get drunk and yell about Colin Kaepernick disgracing the American flag, and just allow this kind of stuff to happen? I don't know. You tell me. This is just my perspective. Again, everything is my opinion that I present, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying is it is what it is, and I wanted to do a show about it. Plain and simple. So, hey, as always, guys, please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. And until next time, I'm out.